That transition was awful. You're welcome. I was inspired by a previous Roblox spray paint video where I played around with the perspective to give more of an interesting dimension to the artwork. Today I decided that I wanted to make another one of those illusion perspective artworks with more help from the game's opacity tool. Now, that previous dragon artwork definitely had its illusion experience, however it was still quite two-dimensional, which didn't really matter since the outcome was still pretty good. As you can see with my sketches on the screen now, I wanted to really give up a more three-dimensional feel to the piece to really make this serpent thingy actually look like it's moving in and out of the walls. With all that said, let's head into the speed paint itself. So here I begin by setting up the scene and mapping out where the holes in the wall would be. You can see how I varied the sizes of the holes here. I went really big with this one and some small ones just to make sure that they don't all look the same, because I think that would have looked quite strange. I do admit that I probably should have done more to the walls, maybe given them more of a depth or something, maybe a bit more opacity. So now we begin by laying out where the serpent will be, and you can see here with the corners I was being very careful because I knew that depending on the size of the brush it will kind of stick out the little circle patterns off the corners, so I was very careful with the corners here. So you will notice this with the tail, I gave it more of a dynamic pose, I went over it again. Yeah, so just those little adjustments to make it look like the serpent is actually alive and moving. Even without much detail progression, you could already see the illusion working quite well here. And as you can see with the other heads, I also made sure to make them dynamic too. Now we're moving swiftly onto the opacity stuff, so you can see here that already from this first angle the depth is already being sold here. You can see just by adding the shadows the dimension really feels lifted from the wall. The serpent's actually like curving its way around and stuff. And I think you'll notice that I did the opacity stuff first before the detail. I think I just got too excited. I just wanted to already move on to all the shadow work. And I think that's the only reason why I started the shadow first and not the detail. Now moving on to the eye, I wasn't really sure about this part. I felt like I was kind of just overcomplicating it a bit and I just kept it quite simple. You can see with the multiple heads, I remembered that to give these serpent things more character, I made the eyes look in like different directions, one looking up, one looking down, and so on. I was really excited to see how the chrome would turn out in this piece, but unfortunately these didn't turn out as well as I thought. I thought it would have this like cool shine to it when I would like move around. I mean it does, but I feel like the way I applied it in these like thin line works, it didn't really sell the shine of the chrome as much. And with the pattern work it was quite random, and as a collection I think they still worked, even though I should have maybe thought about them a bit more. And if you've watched my previous video where I made like a whole spray paint tutorial, I did talk about how shifting your layers up and down in the bottom right menu was really buggy and unreliable, and I completely discouraged you guys from using it. And here I nearly forgot about that completely, because since I did the shadow layer first, I was like, oh, this is fine, I can just move this layer below the pattern one when I'm finished. And in that moment I did remember that, oh, the shifting of layers, or like moving your layers up and down, was completely broken still, and it still was. So I did kind of just plonk the pattern on top of all the shadow, which didn't look too bad because of how thin the line work was for the pattern stuff. There wasn't really much of a weird clash between the shadow layer and the pattern layer. So as you can see, when I was about to add the neon, I was very close to having them all this single pink neon color, but since there were multiple heads of this serpent, I thought having their eyes this different color for each one again sells that kind of the individual character of these different serpent heads. And I think that was basically the perfect move for this. And that's all I had to say for the process, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this neon decorating here. really liking this illusion stuff, and after doing this piece, I already have a lot of cool ideas for future Roblox Spray Paint videos. And you know what, I think I'm going to start using them in my graffiti videos as well. Remember to leave a like and comment to show your support, and if you want to watch that previous illusion artwork I made, you can click on the screen now or the playlist for more. And I'll see you all next time.